evening, welcome to Central News for Monday the 26th of August. I'm Hilary Entwistle. In today's news, a St Peter's School student has been selected as part of a group of New Zealanders from all over the country to attend the 2014 Model United Nations Conference in Europe. The Model United Nations Conference is a unique opportunity for around 240 secondary school delegates to discuss world issues. Each student represents a country and then goes on to debate pressing world issues. As well as debating a range of topical issues, students will also hear from guest speakers and participate in workshops and activities. Next year's conference is to be held in the Netherlands and will attract more than 3,000 international students and teachers. Emily Anzalemi says the conference will be a great opportunity to meet other students from around the world and develop her debating skills and keen interest in politics.
Well, the Hague Model United Nations Conference is basically an invitation Model UN for students that takes place in the actual Hague building. And it's a congregation of around 3,500 students from all over the world, representing every country in the United Nations and a series of non-governmental organisations such as the Red Cross. And we get the opportunity to put forward and vote and discuss resolutions on all of the topics that are of import to the United Nations and to us as individuals and as we represent our countries.
Bay of Plenty Steamers won their first home battle against Hawke's Bay Magpies at ASB Stadium yesterday afternoon. The Steamers won 24-20 against Hawke's Bay in a first home game of the ITM Cup, which kicked off at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday. The second round match, which comes after a narrow 3-point loss to Otago last week. The Steamers next face Auckland at Eden Park on Saturday, August the 31st. Kick-off is at 2:35 p.m. Now for our region's weather, Hamilton, you will have cloudy spells with a shower or two and a westerly. Your expected high is 15 and an overnight low of 6. Tauranga, your Tuesday will be fine with a westerly wind. Your expected high is 16 and an overnight low of 7. Just ahead, going a day without the cars. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. 80% of Hamilton West school children arrive by car. Recently, Hamilton West held a school-wide initiative which saw children and parents observe a day without cars. Children were encouraged to learn about other ways to get to school.
Why is Hamilton City Council keen to see more children make their own way to school each day?
Well, a practical reason, and that is to obviously try and reduce traffic congestion on our city roads when schools open around the city. Long term, we use the word sustainable city, sustainable transport, and that's really trying to get the kids and the parents out of the private motor car and to use the alternative means of transport, which of course is good public transport system, cycling, walking. Obviously, to encourage parents to do that, all of those other modes of transport have to be perceived as workable for parents, efficient and safe.
Here at Hamilton West School, about 80% of pupils arrive and leave each day by car. Is this a problem at other schools across the city?
Not just across the city, I think it's across New Zealand, and my observation is that if you went back 40 years, that stat would be very, very different. 40 years ago, ironically, more people would have walked and cycled to schools than they do now. So I guess to a degree it's trying to sort of turn the clock back a wee bit to a pattern of transport that is more sustainable. The other interesting issue was that when we did this wonderful carless day here, and the teachers and kids rocked up to the local bus and then went round on using our bus system for the day, a very high proportion of kids from this school had never used public transport in this city before. So for them, it was a whole new experience, and I think that wouldn't just be unique to Hamilton West Primary.
We are now going to hear from some active and safe transport facilitators to hear their take on the day. What can a council safe and active transport facilitator do to help get kids out of cars and onto buses or other forms of transport?
So at Hamilton City Council, our active and safe transport facilitators run a range of programs with our schools. Like at Hamilton West, we can do an intensive student-led program, which is actually getting the kids involved and talking to the school community about what they see as the issues and also coming up with the solutions. We also have a range of resources and support we can do with walking school buses. We do some road safety road shows and puppet shows for younger kids. And really it's just about getting in there, talking to the school community and allowing the school to have a conversation with their caregivers and parents about sustainable ways to get to school.
And how can a school get involved with school travel planning?
Well, it's really easy. I mean, they can come and talk to us at City Transportation at Hamilton City Council. It's not a complicated or a time-intensive process. It's really about starting a conversation with your school community about different ways to get to school. So not just relying on cars and dropping kids outside the gate. It's about safety, kids walking, busing, using their scooters, using their cycles, and
Who came on board and rallied their support?
For Car Free Day, we had a lot of support. We had a lot of school support, so a lot of parents came along as supervisors. All of the teachers got in behind a lot of the activities and played some quite important roles as well. We had the Waikato Regional Council who supported us with the Busset tickets. There was a lot of Hamilton City Council staff that were on board. We had the Funky Monkeys that came in and played, entertained the kids, which helped to reinforce some of those messages that we had for the day. And also Reuben the Bear came along and did some shows for the junior students.
Can you tell us about the different activities organised for children of different age groups to help sort of encourage them to get onto public transport and other transport options?
Sure. As part of the student-led program, we actually looked at the makeup of the school and the programs or the activities that were organised were very age appropriate. So we're mindful that it doesn't matter how often when students are being given messages that it's really important to reinforce them. So taking that on board, we looked at different activities. Year 1 and 2 was an orientation of their school, so going for a walk outside of the school grounds and looking at what are really important demarcations for them if they happen to find themselves, detached or in any way. And we also got them to experience a new electronic pedestrian crossing that had just been put in up on one of the busy streets. Year 3s and 4s, they did a similar orientation, but they were looking at more hazard identification, certain areas around the school. So we have the Waikato hospital just down the road, and so it's really important that they learn what to do if they're ever walking along the streets and an ambulance comes screaming past. So that was the focus for them. 5 and 6s, year 5s and 6s, spent the day going around Hamilton for 2 hours, and so that was an opportunity for them to learn all the etiquettes, I guess, of bus use. And year 7s and 8s got to learn more confidence around using bicycles, scooters and things like that. So there was a competition put together for them to strut their stuff, I guess.
And what do you hope this day will achieve?
Well, I guess we had 2 goals really. Firstly, for the kids was to reinforce the road safety messages and also give them the opportunity to experience what we would call sustainable active transport modes. And for the wider school community, it's really about getting people to think about their transport choices. So it's not just getting in a car. That's not the only choice available to you, especially for parents dropping their kids at school. We can think about cycling, walking and school busing as well.
Coming up next, we chat with some of the kids involved. Welcome back. Hamilton roads have been known to face significant traffic congestion around school hours, and efforts like the Hamilton City Council's Day Without Cars highlight the dramatic effect small changes can make to local school areas. Parents and children involved in the Day Without Cars can also testify to the effect the day has had on them in the long term.
How has your involvement with Hamilton West Carless Day affected your choices about getting your kids off to school?
Well, prior to the Carless Day, I was driving the kids to school and driving to pick them up every day. But since the Carless Day, the kids are actually walking to school now every day in the mornings, and I'm trying to walk to school to pick them up at the end of the day as well.
Did you have any concerns about sending your children off to school in different ways, such as walking or on public transport?
I think that, again, that was partly helped by the Carless Day. I did the walk with the junior school on the car-free day, and it really showed me just how aware even my 6-year-old was about the safety issues and how to keep himself safe when he was walking outside of the school grounds, which gave me a confidence that I could. The 9-year-old and 6-year-old could get to school safely and enjoy themselves while they were doing it.
And what did you think that your children gained, or what sort of ways did they benefit from taking this initiative to walk to school?
I think they've gained quite a lot. There's an obvious benefit of sort of an extra 30 to 40 minutes of exercise each day that they're now getting that they weren't getting before. But probably even more importantly for me is the increasing confidence that they're gaining from being able to get themselves from home to school. They feel more responsible, and as a result they're taking more responsibility for themselves in a lot of ways, getting themselves ready in the morning, being places on time, and that commitment to that. In addition, it's become a real social thing for them. As a result of my 2 children walking to school, 2 other children from the neighbourhood have joined them. So that's a social time that they really enjoy, and friendships are developing and strengthening as a result of that. And they're committed to being ready when Harry gets there. So that's all really positive, neat stuff for them.
And what sort of ways did you benefit by this initiative and getting the kids out the door?
Well, I'm loving it. I don't have to get out of the house quite as quickly. I'm gaining probably about an extra hour a day of time to do other things that I'm not having to spend in the car. And I'm also trying to walk to school to pick them up, so I'm getting some exercise as well, which I'm really enjoying as well. And that time walking home with the kids is really unpressured, relaxed time for us to chat about their day, and it's a really enjoyable time for all of us.
What were your children's initial reactions to the initiative and learning that they're no longer going to be able to take the car to school?
Initially they were a little bit kind of why do we have to change what's been working so well for us? And so that's why I started small. I initially suggested that they walk to school 3 days a week. It quickly became they were enjoying it so much they wanted to walk every day. So then it hasn't become a chore for them at all.
How do you think that this might change their thoughts on public transport and how they use public transport?
I think that they are just more open to alternative ways of transport and not necessarily automatically thinking that the car's going to be there and picking them up, and just broadening their awareness of other options other than car.
I'm here with the Hamilton West School Trust team, who are going to tell me a little bit about their experience of their day without cars. So, can you guys tell me how you got to school that day?
I walked to school on that day. I was dropped off at the lake and then walked to school from there. I carpooled. I actually got drive.
Oh, that sounds great. And how do you guys usually get to school if you weren't walking?
I'd usually go in a car. Car too.
I would still walk. Car.
And so, day without cars, obviously you're learning a lot about traffic safety and different ways to get to school. So can you guys maybe in the back row tell me a little bit more about what you learnt on that day?
I learned that about how to cross some proper pedestrian crossings.
I learnt about sneaky driveways.
I learned about sneaky driveways too. I learned that cars aren't always the best thing.
And I learned another word for the road crossing. Crossing, or pedestrian crossing.
Oh, well, that all sounds very good. So if you can all tell me what you enjoyed the most about the day, why was it enjoyable, what was fun about it, and what did you really like the most?
It was really enjoyable. Some groups got to go on buses and that was really fun, and the Funky Monkeys came, that was cool. I saw the juniors learn more about how the roads are used and that cars aren't always the safest thing to use.
Just getting to meet everybody and spending time with people. And just seeing the little kids having so much fun.
I liked how we went around walking around the school area, looking out for dangerous things.
I liked how we got to go on buses for 2 hours around Hamilton and because the Funky Monkeys came. And I enjoyed to see all the juniors having fun and learning new things.
I enjoyed competing in the Year 7 and 8's wheels competition.
My favourite bit was taking the kids to the playground and having them go to the ribbons show. That was really fun.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today here at Hamilton West Primary School, and I hope that you will enjoy this event in years to come.
Just ahead, a new educational tool to help teach children right from wrong. If you have just joined us, welcome to Central News. In an age where technology seems to be overwhelmingly present in all aspects of life, we can also see the effects it is having on child's play. Jane Grime has identified the need to go back to basics when it comes to educational toys and has come up with interactive wooden magnetic toys. Her concept, Shape Kids, teaches children morals whilst they learn about shapes and colours. We meet with Jan to find out more.
So 20 years ago you came up with this idea. What inspired you to bring this idea to life?
I think because over the years I've thought about it and nobody else had done it, and I thought, well, it's about time I did, you know, and I packed working 4 years ago because of health reasons, so I thought, well, now's the time, I've got to do it, I'm going to do it, you know.
So can you tell us about the characters?
Yes, we've got Richard Rectangle over there, he's just a cool, sensible dude, and next is Teresa Triangle, and she's a bit of a know-all. She's a little bit better than the others, knows a bit more. And then at this side we've got Stephen Square, he's the youngest and he's also the naughtiest. He's the one that gets up to the mischief. And Carly Circle, she's just a little bit shy.
So these stories that you've written have themes running through them, teaching children about what's right and wrong. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you think it's important for children to have these sort of themes running through storybooks?
Yeah, I think all parents want the kids to have morals, and if they can get them young enough and liking, say, the Shape Kids, and they've got morals, hopefully they will want to be the same. And I did give a book to my friend, and her little girl, Chloe, is 3, and we was talking on the phone, and I heard Chloe say, Stephen Square said a lie. So I thought, oh, well, it's gone into her head, you know, so hopefully they'll just carry on. I've actually wrote 7 books, but these are just the 2 that I've published.
So what is your theory behind the simplicity of these toys and characters?
Well, the building blocks, I suppose, basically, but the building blocks with a twist, like really young children can play with them and make funny characters, and just, you know, I've seen young children playing with them, giggling and saying, look at what I've done, look at this. So it's just something that even a 2-year-old can play with and, you know, make something, just make a funny character with, like, a triangular head, square body, circular arms and rectangular legs, and then they get really excited because of that, you know, because they have done it themselves and it's so easy to do.
And have you had much interest with kindergartens and play centres?
Well, I've taken them round to quite a few, and I've sold quite a few as well. I've had a couple of kindies that have bought 3 sets each, and I've had two instances where I've just took one Shape Kid out and they've said, I want them, I don't care what the cost. And I said, well, just a minute, let me show you the rest. And they said, no, I want them. So that's really good, and I've had great feedback. I've had one kindy lady get in touch because she got a little boy that was lying in her class and she wanted the book to try and help him to stop. You know, so I've had really good feedback, and it's just getting round everybody. It's just there's that many kindies round about, so I haven't been to everybody yet, but Yeah, I've had good feedback. And the kids, as soon as I open them in the kindies, the kids just come up and they just start playing, and the teachers are saying, just a minute, let me just have a look at what they've got, you know, because they usually just take them out and put them on the table. So they seem to know just straight away, the kids.
And what has your observation been when witnessing children play with these toys or engage in these stories?
They always seem to love it. Even my 6-year-old granddaughter came up and she flew up from Wellington to stay with me, and me and my grandson had already played with them and made loads of different, you know, silly figures. And I was trying to cook tea and she kept running in and saying, Granny Jenny, look at this, what I've made. And I said, oh, that's lovely, Maddie. And then, you know, about 30 seconds later, she running in, look at this one, Granny Jenny. So they do like them because they just, you know, can just make lots of different funny characters, and they can... Arms will change for arms, legs will change for legs, or vice versa. And my grandson's favourite first one he did, he had Richard Rectangle's body, Carly Circle's head, Stephen Square's head, and Teresa Triangle's head upside down. So he had all the heads round, and it was just one body and 4 heads. And I thought, I never thought of that. Just thinking head for head, you know.
And what are your plans for the future in Shape Kids?
Well, I've just met this great guy who's helping me. He's just put the books on Kindle and he's getting the toys on Amazon, and he's actually knows people in America and Canada that are actually talking at the moment about, you know, producing them over there. And he's also got someone in the UK and Australia, so that'll be the next thing. So hopefully they'll go global.
So if parents are interested in your products, what can they do to find out more information?
Well, they can go to my website, theshapekids.com or shapekids.co.nz, which takes you to the same link. And if they want to see them, they're in Miracle Toys and Jumping Jacks in Hamilton East, and the Best Little Bookstore in Hamilton sells them as well. So if they want to see them before they buy, they can.
So what sort of process did you go through when it came to publishing these stories?
Well, I wrote 7 stories, and then, like, years ago when I first invented them, I wrote 1 story and I sent it off to a publisher, and they had asked me to put some more information in and send it back, but I was too embarrassed. I ripped it up, I had it under the bed, and I thought, oh, I don't know if it's any good. So the only people that I showed it to was my daughter and her friend. They said it was good, but obviously they were only 9 or 10. So I just ripped it up and never bothered again. And then this time when I decided to do it, I just sat down and I wrote 7 stories. All I remember of the first story all those years ago was there's a policeman in it, so I put a policeman in this one. And then, you know, I just wrote them down and got the first 2 published, and the others it'll have to wait a little while. The 3rd one's ready for publication, but I'll just have to wait and, you know, and see when I can get that done. So.
If you are interested in Jan's products, that website is theshapekids.com. That is the news for today. We really want you to be involved, so like us on Facebook, let us know your views. If you have news including your own video and photos, go to our website and hit upload. Thanks for joining us. I will be back tomorrow night with more guests from in and around our regions. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.